Snap.
Hello and welcome to the Connection Couch.
Hello. Today we're talking all about audio on LinkedIn.
Audio. So
Audio.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for staying with us. Really do appreciate it. Joe?
We do. I'm Joe.
Yep, I'm Reg.
And together we are the Connection Couch because we're on a couch.
We are on a couch.
And we're all about connection.
Standing up is just way too much effort.
It is. It's too tiring for me.
Yeah. Today we're talking about audio and different ways that you can use audio on the LinkedIn platform. Have you had LinkedIn?
On the LinkedIn, yes.
Yeah, on the LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into it, Joe.
Yes. Now, if you stick around to the very end, we're going to share a brand spanking new feature that is currently being rolled out at the time of recording that you can use on LinkedIn.
Yes. We've got a couple actually, but the last one particularly is actually quite new and it was very new.
I don't have it yet. That's how new it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you've only just found out about it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's brand new.
God, it's hot off the press. Right.
Hot off the press.
Where should we start?
Well, we talk about audio. Now, a couple of ways you can use audio. We talk about audio as in voice. So what you say, the recorded voice, or sounds, if you're into that. Could be music.
Don't see
a lot of just music, but... Now, we've done an episode about this before, so audio messages. So we're not going to spend a lot of time because you can link to the message, I was going to say app, episode.
Episode, I wonder where you're going.
Yeah, so audio messages on LinkedIn are a really cool feature that not a lot of people use. And I love audio messages because I can say a lot quickly.
Yes.
And I don't mean because I'm talking super fast.
Right.
So if I go to your profile, Reg, and I want to invite you to something or just check in with you, I could write a message in text, which you can read at any time, but I can also record my voice, which, of course, you've got to be in a position to listen to it, so you have to either need headphones or be in a position where you can have your speakers on. Yeah. But me recording my voice to you allows me to put in a bit of personality. I mean, you can put personality into text, but it's much easier when you're speaking, isn't it?
Yeah, you got to do it through emojis and stuff, don't you?
Well, that's right. And I can put, I can sort of laugh at myself and have jokes, and which may not translate well. So it just allows you to quickly connect. So I like to do that with people I'm reconnecting with, like people that I haven't been in touch with for a while. I might do a quick check-in message. Hi, Reg, how you going? What's happening with blah, 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 or how you coping with the COVID thing, or, whatever's going on in the world. And I love it. Now, you're going to laugh at this. What do you think of car videos, Reg, quickly?
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, that's a whole episode, and so we've talked about that. But we actually do have an episode about car videos. But car messages, now audio message, no one can see that you're in the car. So if I'm early for a meeting or after a meeting, I've got some time, I can be in my car recording audio messages, and I do that. Yep. And no one can see you.
No. Don't do it while driving, make sure you're parked up.
No, exactly. So I'm talking about physically sitting in a car, just because you're by yourself and you might be thinking of someone, so you can quickly record a message. So audio messages are really powerful, allow you to connect quickly. You can't automate messages, you can't use spammy software and copy and paste to many people. It's a one-on-one medium, which I like because that's how we're meant to connect. So audio messages. So the second one, in terms of audio, is podcasts.
Yeah, now, funny you should say this, because when you said that there was no way to share podcasts on LinkedIn, I was like, wow, yeah, you're right. It's something I never actually thought about. But there is no way to share. You can share the link, you can't play it in the actual, not like a video where you can consume the content in-app or in...
And it's something that's been missing, because if you look at podcasts, they're hot right now. I mean, they've been hot probably for the last year or so, but particularly I think this year. People are really listening to a lot of stuff because it's on the go. But to promote your podcast, for instance, you can share the link to your podcast, but that takes you outside of LinkedIn. Yeah. And then you do have that click to go somewhere else. It doesn't play in the feed at all. So here's my prediction. I think they will start adding audio as a feature, because people are using audio, and it's a nice way to listen where you don't need to watch.
Yep, get onto it, LinkedIn.
So it will be coming. So in terms of how do you promote audio content, which is essentially podcast, is turning your podcast into other pieces of content. And it might be creating a video with a podcast.
Don't say it like that.
No, because it's not a video then, is it, Reg?
No, it's not.
Because we've just had a whole discussion about what's video, what's not video. Yeah. So having voice with just a static image is not a video, is it?
No, not really.
It's essentially a audiogram, maybe you'd call it, or something. Is that a thing?
An audiogram.
I think
it is now.
Well, an audiogram is a thing. Like, you can create them. I was going to say, because there's an app called, I'm going to say, no, it's not Headliner. It's called something else. and it will come back to me. Headline, I think it's called headline, and you can create audiograms from it, which is essentially sound bites of content with a visual. You probably see them in the feed. They're like a little, so technically they act as a video, as in they're a video file, but they're not a video. It's a moving image, and you can see the person's face, and you've got the little sound graph that goes up and down as they're talking. So that's an audiogram.
Is it? Okay, you're telling me.
Which is a video file, essentially. So you can create them in other tools. So you need to take then your audio content and translate it into something else. And it might be sharing, say your podcast is 20 minutes long or whatever it is, you might just create a short audiogram as a preview and then put your link in the description to see the episode. So that's one way. I mean, there's many places to put links to podcasts. Like you could create a role on your profile and have all your podcast interviews as media.
As media,
you could share them in the featured section. So there's different things you can do with them, but that's essentially at the moment what you can do to share podcasts.
Right. Excellent.
Yes.
All right. We've done 2 so far.
2, yes.
3. Now, this is interesting as well. This is relatively new, isn't it?
It's a new feature, and I've come up with a way to use it for a different purpose.
Yes.
So,
which I think is quite clever.
I'm very clever.
You are.
I'm just so
it's
clever.
Annoyingly so.
So there's a new feature for job seekers, which I think is great for job seekers. So if you're going to an interview, that can be quite nerve-wracking, and you need to practice. So LinkedIn have come up with this feature called Job Interview Prep, and the interview prep area gives you lots of questions that you can answer on video using your voice. Now I know that's a video feature, but it's about voice. So where it's useful is it's not giving you feedback. Well, let me just step back. It is giving you feedback, but on what you say, not how you look. It's not giving you feedback on your body language and things yet.
Or intonation?
Intonation.
Intonation.
Yeah, so what it does is you can record your answer to particular questions. It tells you your speed, as in how fast you're speaking.
Yep.
Which is quite useful because when you're nervous, often you speak faster. Speed up. It also tells you if you put in filler words. So if you're a person that says and are a lot, or and but, mine's so, Reg, blah, 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 so this, so that. And I bet you've watched back these videos, there'll be a lot of so's in the start of my sentence because it's just something I say because I guess I'm putting it together. So it's just that word. So you'll find out what your words are because it tells you the words if you use them as well. So it says it so then.
I didn't want to pick it up, but yes.
If so, facto, pointo. Anyways, so that's the job seekers. But here's the clever part, which I think is clever, because I'm looking at, well, that's good and well for job seekers. I love it. But if you're not a job seeker, when are you in a position that you need to speak and you want to practice? Well, if you in business, how often do you go to a networking event and have to do that stand-up elevator pitch?
Elevator pitch.
Who loves doing that?
Oh, no, not really.
No one does initially.
No one loves doing it.
Even when you're really comfortable, you still have to put it into a very short bit. So where this is really useful is there's a couple of questions. Now, one question, there's sort of prompts. One is to talk about yourself, introduce yourself. So if you're in business, not in the job market, use the feature to practice your elevator pitch. Yeah. To practice what you're going to say on your video, for instance. So find a question and just answer the question. So if you're really nervous about doing video, firstly, you're on video because you're actually videoing yourself speaking. It's not going anywhere. It's just on the back end. It's purely for feedback. But you're speaking. You're practicing answering questions and talking about yourself, which no one loves, do they?
No.
It's awkward.
It is, yeah.
So that's the that's sort of the hack to that feature, using it to create an elevator pitch for yourself. So
and I think that's pretty clever because there's a lot of things. Sorry, it's a lot. Let me back up. It's something that everybody has to do. Yeah. And has to do it well. Yeah. Because essentially you need to be able to get across who you are and what you do at these networking events.
In like 30 seconds or whatever the time limit is for your
group.
So
if you can practice that and get feedback on it, that's pretty invaluable.
Yeah. And then, because you don't know what extra words that you've put in there until you actually record yourself. So one of the best things I did in my training preparation is recording myself speaking in my early days, because you see firstly how you stand, you see your body language and the fact that I was doing the pterodactyl arms.
Oh yeah, from the
terrible. But you also hear what you say and how many ums and ahs and so's, because once you hear it you can't not hear it then. You're looking for them almost. So that feedback will tell you straight away, are you umming and ahhing? Because umming and ahhing is just thinking out loud, isn't it? You're filling the space because you feel like you have to say something. So that's a really good feature. That's number 3, using audio.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got the number 4, which is a brand spanking new feature. Like super new, I don't have it. Spanking new. Now, one thing I particularly like to get right is people's names.
Yes.
Particularly, and depending on where you live, I mean, people travel around and we're in a very multicultural environment. We're dealing with people in different countries, different cultures. So sometimes we come across names that we don't know how to pronounce, or you've given your kids names that are just odd. I mean, my poor daughter, I thought her name was phonetic. Her name is Julia. I've spelt it differently. She hates the spelling. I love it, of course. But I spelt it Juleah, which I think is phonetic, Julia. But people look at it and go, how do I say that? So I didn't think that would be a problem, but it is. So LinkedIn have got this new feature to help you tell people or educate people as to how to say your name. Now, I'm probably not going to need it. Joe? Joe. Or, no. I don't know. How can you get Joe wrong? Can you get Joe wrong?
Well,
Joe. I don't know.
Jose?
I mean, Reg. How wrong can you go with Reg?
Not really. It's the sir part at the beginning I think people kind of forget.
So
the sir part,
I know, I get it all wrong all the time. So, if you've got a name that's quite clear, then you may not need this feature. But if you've got an unusual name, or you've got a name, like sometimes people will have a name, particularly Asian cultures, and you come up with an anglicised name to help people locally because they can't say your name. So this feature allows you to not only have your name written as it should be, but it educates people as to how to pronounce it, because I just think it's good manners to try and get someone's name right, or give it a go. I mean, I will actually say, if I see something a bit different, I'll say, how do I pronounce that? And I might give it a go and get it wrong, but at least I've given it a go, and I'll try my best to get it right. I'll try to remember.
You have to do the old John Mangles kind of thing where you give it the accent. Remember John Mango from Channel 9 News a while ago, John?
No.
Kennedy? Anyway, so he used to read the words and then he'd actually give it the accent. So if it was a Spanish name, he'd give it the Spanish accent or something like that.
Okay.
Jose Calderon, that kind of...
Oh, okay, yeah. And it sounded really impressive, I'm sure. Yeah,
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was.
Unless I got it completely wrong, but so this brand new feature. It's on the desktop and app. Next to your name, you'll see a little icon which allows you to record your name.
Right.
So that you can record how you say your name. Obviously, you want to say it clearly, so that people can come to your profile, listen to it, and get your name right. So it's quite cool, because I think we live in such a diverse world, and our networks are very diverse, so it just allows us to build better connections by getting our names right.
Absolutely. And if you wanted to send someone a message and you don't know how to pronounce their name, then maybe you won't send that message, but because you can go to their profile, listen to how they pronounce it, then maybe I'll send that message.
I like what you did there, Reg, because now you've linked in audio messages to that.
See
because
what I did there?
If I audio message and go Reg, Reg, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, of course, it could be Reg, hello. And we laugh about it, but from a different culture. Like, English is a really tricky language.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone might
struggle with it.
I mean, someone's going to potentially get it wrong. So you're giving them, some pronunciation. Now, the next step to this particular feature, I think, is, which is what I thought the feature was going to be when they announced it, is actually phonetically writing your name, as in text. Because if you have the audio option, and then you are able to put in, almost chunk it down into...
little syllables?
Syllables is what I was thinking, what's that game? Charade, you do syllables. Yeah, exactly. How to actually pronounce it. And a colleague of mine does that. So her name is Marjolaine. And it's
Marjolaine.
Wow. And I think that's pronounces as correctly as I can get it.
French?
No, I think it's Dutch.
Oh.
I think it's Dutch. And it's Marjolein, I think. So people would say, and me included, I would say Marjolaine or Marjolaine or Marjolaine.
Marjolaine. What are you doing? Marjolaine.
So the J is silent, and a lot of cultures have these silent or J's, and like a friend of mine, her husband was I think it was pronounced Charton. That sounded so Aussie. Charton! It's Kjarton. So the K and the J make a ch sound.
Oh, right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know
but
that.
I wouldn't have known that if I actually asked her. So how do you pronounce that? And this was done by letter. So she wrote down the phonetic
Yeah, gotcha. Syllables.
Gosh. Yeah. So that would be a nice addition. I think that's not here yet, and I'd like to see that added, whether they do or not. Yeah, but it just means that you can get it right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered it then. We've covered audio quite well.
I think we
and
have.
We've linked it all together.
We have.
It's been a nice little package. We've unpacked it well, Joe. Oh, someone put me out of my misery. Thank you for staying around to the very end. We do appreciate it. We put out content like this every week where we help you understand LinkedIn better so you can leverage your connections.
Question. I want to know, of those tips, which one you would actually use. Would you use audio messages? Do you have a podcast you want to share? Have you used or will you use the practicing your elevator pitch? And do you have the feature on will you record your name?
Yes.
That's 4 questions.
That's 4 questions.
A lot of questions.
That's a lot of questions.
Hey,
but yeah,
answer one of
you're
them.
adults, you can manage that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So answer the questions, otherwise Joe will get into trouble in the comments below. Remember to subscribe, we do appreciate it, and we want to grow this audience and grow our community so we can all help each other. So that's me, I'm out. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next week, and we'll see you then.
See you then.